So, if you are a freelancer from Nigeria, chances are you have actually made at least one of these 7 very common mistakes. And if you are a newbie freelancer or you are considering freelancing, these are actually the mistakes you want to make sure you avoid. I made these same mistakes when I started freelancing a few years ago, about 4 or 5 years ago. And trust me, these mistakes are costing you real clients, they are costing you real dollars, and they are costing you real times. I actually made a note of all these mistakes and I'm going to be listing them in this video. But before we proceed, my name is Michael. I'm a Nigerian content marketer who helps agencies which are agencies like web design agencies, creative agencies. I help them land foreign and local clients. I've actually done over 2 million traffic from blog posts annually, and I've helped a web design agency actually close over $100,000 per month from organic marketing using content to turn their potential clients, identify their potential clients, and turn their potential clients into customers. So basically, this video I'm going to be talking about some of the mistakes I made a note of them, and I'm going to be clicking to actually access each mistake. So the first mistake I actually noticed and I also actually had was when I first started freelancing, I was chasing after every gig. So, and it's something I had noticed that is still quite common with a lot of freelancers nowadays. Everybody is chasing after every gig. You jump on any or every job post that we see, and even if it is related to them or not, or to their services, many freelancers, especially in the marketing and design niche, actually try to get all jobs and services. And that is one thing we call the no niche, no expertise mistake. You have no niche and you have no expertise. And majority of foreign clients actually, when they observe you and see that is what you are doing, they see you as a generalist. Now imagine if I have about $10,000 to spend on a startup project and I need web designers. Would I look for a web designer that is not skilled? Let's say, for example, I'm building a fintech app. I want to build a fintech app. I have $10,000, $30,000 to put into the app development. Why would I go to someone who doesn't or who is not establishing themselves as a web designer for fintech products? So basically, I want somebody who has good expertise when it comes to that niche, especially when I'm spending good money. So if I'm spending good money, I want somebody who is quite an expert when it comes to that niche. So the best practice actually, if you're somebody who is a freelancer, is to pick 1 or 2 niches. For example, you can pick something like email copywriting, you can pick something like SaaS writing, you can pick something like Facebook ad design, logo design, and go deep. But most importantly, one of the things you want to make sure is that whatever niche you are picking is actually a niche that currently has demand. I actually made a video in a course I created. The course is free at the moment, but it's going to be paid by the end of this month. So I created a video in that course showing you how to actually find current gigs or current freelancing niches that has high demand. And the last video I created about content writing actually showed content writers, because content writing is actually losing demand. So I actually showed content writers how to repackage their skills and services and start getting more or better gigs or getting more demand for their services. So basically what you want to do is you want to make sure that you find a niche that actually has good demand and focus on that niche as a freelancer. Don't chase after every gig, because those with good money, which is what you're actually looking for, you don't want a client to pay you $30, $20 forever. You want clients that pay you $1,000, $5,000, $3,000. And those with good money would not give their money to somebody who is a generalist. They want to find an expert so that they make sure that they get the best for their money. So basically, that's the first mistake, we chase after every gig. Now, the second thing I have noticed is that we have poor profile optimization and proposal systems. Majority of us, when we start, actually don't understand that we actually need to optimize our profiles to actually get found and to actually show the client that, okay, this guy knows what he's doing. So profiles with weak bios, like I can do anything you want, is not going to actually work for you. You have to actually try to identify, just the same thing with the first part of the first mistake, which is chasing every gig. You have to try to identify who you want to serve in the marketplace or in the foreign marketplace. Try to identify the client and find out their need. Then in your profile, pitch what you are offering or the services you are trying to sell them in your profile. Then most importantly, also when you are reaching out to them, try to make sure that your proposals, your messages to them, your DMs actually convey your pitch or convey what you are offering, which is something that helps their needs, that helps them achieve their needs or satisfies their needs. That's the word I was looking for. So when you have no credibility or no differentiation in the marketplace, these foreign clients will not want to hire you, especially foreign clients with good money will not want to hire you. So the best thing is to craft a profile that speaks to a specific client and speaks to their pain points, then try to use proof and outcomes in your proposal. Now, this is the second mistake: poor profile optimization and proposals. Now, the third thing that I have seen a lot, although majority of freelancers are beginning to understand and say that that's a big problem, is actually that majority of us don't have proof of work or a good portfolio. And even when you are using a proof of work, we actually use a wrong proof of work that doesn't match our pitch or our DMs or our proposals or our message. Let's say, for example, one of the most common hindrances or one of the most common statements I've had when I tell a client or when I tell a freelancer that reaches out to me that they would like to hold one-on-one sessions with me, and they would like to ask questions about how to get clients. One of the top questions they've always said is, how would they build a portfolio if they've not gotten any client yet? Say, for example, you're a newbie freelancer or you're a startup freelancer. How do you build a portfolio then if you don't have a client? And if you're somebody who has been in the freelancing world for a while, you know that one of the things we say is that show, don't tell. We say show clients the proof of your work or what you can do, but don't tell them. So there are actually 4 ways you can actually make sure that 4 different ways, I think, 4 different ways you can make sure that you get a good portfolio up and running so that you can use it to convince clients, or you can use it to show clients that this is your prowess, this is your skill level, and they should hire you. The first thing is you can actually create mock projects. So basically, mock projects is you create an ideal client profile. Okay, what are the things your ideal clients will be asking you, and what are the, say for example, I'm somebody who does content marketing for web design agencies. Some of the things they can ask me is how do they create content that converts their clients and stuff like that. So I can create content that helps convert clients. I can create lead magnet ideas and so on and so forth for these clients. Then basically when they see what I did, they say, okay, this guy is actually skilled enough to work with us. So if a web design agency owner actually sees that kind of content or sees what I did or saw what I did, they can easily work with me. And that client that I work with or that I created in my portfolio is actually an abstract client. It's not a real client. It's an imaginary client. So what you do is you create a mock project. The second thing you can do is you can volunteer. There are many times I've seen it on LinkedIn, on Twitter, where people are actually asking for volunteer designers, volunteer copywriters, volunteer web designers, and so on and so forth. You can easily volunteer. The most important thing is when you volunteer, you actually get whatever you did for that volunteer business or whatever, maybe an NGO, maybe a humanitarian business or humanitarian service. For example, something like maybe Red Cross and so on and so forth. Once you volunteer, maybe web design, you help them build a web page or you help them write copy. Once you volunteer, you can easily put that together as a portfolio. In fact, it connects emotionally to clients because they feel like, okay, you actually did. You can put it there as well that it was a volunteer role. But the fact that you actually did that particular project, you worked on it, you did your design, it shows your prowess as well. A third thing you can do is, say, for example, you are a web designer, you are a web copywriter. If you work with web, you have to actually build your own site. So building your own site more or less is like you are showing or showcasing your work. If I'm a web designer and I don't have a good website design, it shows that I'm a terrible web designer. So the first thing you do is you make sure that if you're a web designer, web copywriter, you are related to the web, try to build a portfolio for yourself. If you're a video editor, try to build a portfolio. Maybe create an Instagram account, put videos out there that you can edit, show your editing skills, show your editing prowess on those platforms. And even if you can't, or you feel like the algorithm will not work with your content that much, you can put it in a Google Doc file, but create your own videos and edit them. Show them mistakes or try to find videos online, find mistakes within those videos that they made during the editing process and re-edit those videos, link back to the owner of the videos or send it to them and show them that, okay, they could have made these changes to those videos to make sure they get better engagement. And they might post it. And from there, you can actually get portfolio to actually showcase as your prowess as well. Then a fourth way is you can go to something like a platform like producthunt.io. If you're a web designer, copywriter, whatever services you're offering, you can find a startup there, people that are running SaaS businesses. Tell them that you'd like to work with them for free or you will intern with them for free. And while working with them, actually, that means you are contributing to their project, you are contributing to their business. If you're a web designer or if you're a product designer, you designed their app interface or whatever product they are moving, or web app or mobile app, you design the interface and they put it out there. Whatever result they get is actually your result as well. Say, for example, they got 100k users in the first month. That means you designed an app or you contributed to the design of a project that actually got over 100,000 users within the first month, which is a good portfolio for you to actually showcase to clients who want to hire you in the long run. So the most important thing is if you know you want to actually get proof of work or portfolio, try to create more projects, volunteer, maybe build your own website, and in a case where you can, try to help startups or product-led growth startups. So actually, when it comes to proof of work and portfolio, there are two different schools of thoughts. There are people who believe that you should not actually work for free, and there are people who believe that you should work for free to build a portfolio. I actually combine both school of thoughts. I believe that because in my startup phase, or when I started freelancing, I actually did a couple of free works as well. And the free work I did, I made sure that I collected testimonials. So if you're somebody who is doing free work, or you are offering, you are volunteering, you are interning on paid for different businesses, one of the things you can do, you're trying to build your portfolio, is to tell them up and ahead that you are trying to use this work you are doing with them to actually build your portfolio. And at the end of about maybe 1, 2, 3 months, we would actually love them to actually give you a testimonial. It might be a video testimonial, which is more advisable. It might be a text testimonial. It might be them simply writing a recommendation on your LinkedIn profile. All or any of it actually works. Then the fourth mistake that I think is quite obvious when it comes to freelancing is actually applying without understanding the client business. This also combines all what we have been talking about before. When you send, the most important thing is when you send a proposal or a DM to a client and you don't understand their business, it's not just a terrible outlook to your expertise as a professional or as a freelancer, but it's also an insult to that potential client. Because sending generic proposals like something like hire me or I can help is actually more or less an insult to them. So the most important thing is if they put out a job post and you are replying to that job post, show that you actually read the job post. Look at it very carefully. Try to understand what they need before you respond. Try to mention their website, the goals they are trying to achieve, and how you help, and be more personalized or you get ignored. For example, I actually have a lot of designers reaching out to me, and I do majority of my designs, I do them on Canva myself, although I have some designer friends that actually help me with when I want more complex designs. However, these guys actually reach out to me looking for telling me that they would like to work on my designs, they would like to work on my video editing. But one of the major problems they actually make is they just offer me the design services. They don't try to like personalize it to what I want. Look at my profile. Okay, I've been posting on Instagram for a while. I have a business page. I actually link to it. Look at the business page. Okay, you have not been posting quite often. Is your design one of the biggest problems or one of the biggest hindrances you have to posting more frequently? Would you like to post more frequently? If I said yes, okay, I would like to post more frequently. Is your design one of those things that is stopping you from posting frequently? Is there a way I can help you to make that process seamless so that it can make it easier for you to post more frequently? Then that way, that means I can, okay, think about it. Then I say, okay, maybe you do the work. If you can do at this price, if you can do it for free, if you can do it, I will make an offer to you. Then once I make an offer to you, you can decide if that offer pays you or not, is good for you or not. And then you get the job. But majority of them just say, I'll design for you, I'll get to. So at the end of the day, it doesn't really work because it's not personalized to what I'm looking for. They didn't try to find out exactly what I'm looking for as somebody who needs design or who does design for my business as well. Now, the fifth mistake I've done or that I've seen a lot of freelancers do is not building a personal brand. And majority of us are actually lazy when it comes to this. I particularly also am lazy when it comes to this, but I have been somebody who has been at the other hand of building a personal brand, and I knew how advantageous it was. Some of my biggest or largest paying clients paid me or hired me because of the personal brand I've been working on building. They will find me on any platform. They can find me on Twitter, find me on Instagram. But when they go to my LinkedIn, go to my YouTube, that is when they see, okay, this guy is doing quite well in other platforms as well. We would like to actually establish our presence on this platform. Can you help us? And that way, they actually engage me for a long period of time. You can see clients of over a year, clients of over 2 years on my profile that actually found me organically by themselves. Now, the problem is if you don't build a personal brand, you only show up when you are job hunting. You cannot be found, which is actually quite common. I've seen it very common among a lot of software developers from Nigeria, but I've seen designers as well, marketers as well, who actually do that. If you're a marketer, one of the biggest traits of being a marketer is that you can be easily found. So try to make sure that you work on building your personal brand as a marketer. No one remembers you if you don't build a personal brand, and that means you get no inbound leads. There are several ways you can actually make sure that you build a personal brand. You can start posting helpful content on your LinkedIn, on your Twitter. You can share your case studies or the projects you've done. In fact, you can even share when you start working with volunteer businesses or whatever you worked on or whatever challenges you faced while working on a volunteer business. Is actually helping the business and it's helping you build your profile as a freelancer as well or as a professional as well. Talk about your journey. All those things are actually very important to clients who are looking to hire you. They will follow your journey. Then you can also include your struggles, and that will actually help you build a personal brand that convinces clients to work with you. Now, the sixth one is actually thinking that the freelancer platforms are the only way. When I first started out, I actually started on Upwork. And I think because I've been following Gary Vee for a while. Gary Vee has been talking about content marketing, social media marketing for a while. I quickly learned to pivot to LinkedIn, and I've been using my Twitter as well. I've not gotten very many clients on Twitter, but I've gotten some on Instagram. I've gotten some on LinkedIn. So basically, pivoting or moving away from just freelancing platforms actually changes the game completely for you. You can try LinkedIn. You can actually try cold emailing, although I don't really like cold emailing because of the lengthy process it takes to clean up an email, warm up an email, warm up a domain, then start sending email out of it. Then you can try referrals, you can try Twitter, but I like LinkedIn and I like LinkedIn DMs, and I like actually researching about people on LinkedIn before sending them emails as well. So basically, if you send LinkedIn DMs, you can actually follow up with emails as well. I like using all of these systems together. So basically, you can try all these other outreach methods to actually get clients or bring clients to yourself. You can use the inbound, you can use the outbound. Let them use them. Platforms like Upwork, Fiverr, and so on and so forth can actually block you. The client might, or maybe a seller on Fiverr can report you, and before you know it, your account is blocked on Fiverr. So you have to make sure that you're actually building your business on multiple platforms simultaneously so that you can actually get more clients coming in. I had a client on Upwork at one point in time. I think we did a job for about $200, and the client decided to just check me out on LinkedIn. And once the client found me, the client closed for over $1,500 immediately. The client that hired me on LinkedIn, on Upwork for just $200, closed for $1,500 on LinkedIn. So basically, you are proofing or future proofing yourself if you are building a personal brand and you have thought that you are thinking beyond just freelancing platforms as a way to get clients. Now, the last thing is actually giving up too soon. I've had people reach out to me. They say they've been freelancing for 3 years. They've not gotten any clients. People go on and off when it comes to freelancing. They don't actually stick to it because one of the most important traits of a freelancer is actually having discipline, the discipline to continue to create, the discipline to continue to show up, discipline to continue to try to work for clients. So basically, when you get one rejection or you get somebody saying, okay, I'm no longer working with you, all this kind of thing, you don't go off freelancing for about 6 months, 1 year, thinking that you are going to stick with it, so you are going to succeed like people that are consistently doing it. Freelancing actually focuses on momentum and consistency. You need to be posting content consistently. You need to be reaching out consistently. You need to be talking to people consistently to get clients. Make sure that you stick with it, improve your skills, learn from your rejections, and most importantly, build relationships with people. The people you met 5-6 months ago might decide to be the one to hire you just because of the comments you made on LinkedIn, the posts you made on Twitter, and so on and so forth. So if you're somebody who is a newbie freelancer, or you are just going into freelancing, if you are just going to freelancing, try to avoid this mistake. But if you are somebody who is a newbie freelancer and you have made one of these mistakes that I mentioned, it's not too late for you to fix it. Just make sure that you hit the like button and subscribe so that when I post more content about freelancing, you get to see it first. And most importantly, drop your comments or drop your questions in the comments if you've made any of these mistakes, or if you think you are making other mistakes in freelancing, or you are going through any struggles when it comes to freelancing as a Nigerian. Also, I actually made a 5,000 naira. I put 5,000 naira, I think 5,997 on the class. I actually put it on the 597 on the class that teaches you how to get clients as a Nigerian freelancer. However, I'm going to be keeping it open for free till the end of June 2025. So if you want access to the class, find the link below or in the video description, and I'll be happy to have you on the other side. Again, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to encourage me to make more videos like this. See you later. Cheers.